second. Okay. Uh, Keisha, lead us in prayer.
The Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Most powerful and loving God, we praise you, we adore you, we glorify you. We give you thanks for the abounding goodness and generosity despite our unworthiness. Today, O God, in a most special way, we ask for your grace to sustain us and inspire us to do and fulfill our tasks relevant to our studies. The classroom setting now may be more challenging as we do not get to be together physically and the delivery mode of learning is virtually. But with you on our side, we will be able to carry this out. Help us, O God, to be honest and responsible students. May your goodness and generosity continue to strengthen us, show us the evils and temptations, and inspire us. I can see. Inspire us to cling to what is right and good. We unceasingly pray for all the sick, the burdened, and for all who are suffering because of COVID-19. We sincerely pray too for our continued protection, safety, and wellness, O God. We pray all this in your most holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Keisha. Okay, now let's have the Arabic prayer. Okay, so today is the start of the second quarter. Now, if you will check our syllabus, we will still continue with the remaining lessons in the first quarter. And since we only have 2 days meeting every week, now we're through with Philippine literary history and the canonical authors. This time we will discuss literature every region. And we'll begin with Luzon. Okay, Unit 2, page 32. Okay, Kisha, you have your book already? Wala pa rin? Okay, sige, sige. Um, so we'll discuss first the background of the literary genres of urban writing in Luzon. Now let me share to you the PPT. Okay. All right. Okay. Before I present to you, we will discuss three literary pieces. Okay, this week. Okay, all of these literary pieces have something to do with the man of the house, or have something to do with the fathers, okay, of our families. But before that, let us first discuss the background. Okay, lesson 1, unit 2. Now, what can we expect from the regional lit, okay, particularly from Luzon? Okay, open your book on page 32 and bring out your ball pen or your highlighter, okay, to highlight important or key ideas about Luzon, genres of urban writing. Okay. Jairus, can you please read the first paragraph?
The most populous island group in the Philippines is Luzon. The National Statistics Office findings as of 2010 report is that its population is at 48,520,774. This is more than half of the reported population of the Philippines, which was 92,337,852 for that year. Almost half of the ethnic groups of the Philippines are found in Luzon. The 2010 NSO statistics tally about 48.8%. These ethnic groups use these major regional languages: Tagalog, Ilocano, Kapampangan, Bicolano, and Pangasinense. The English language, of course, is widely used in Luzon, just like in Visayas and Mindanao.
Okay, so the first paragraph is basically about the population of Luzon. Okay, and the key idea here has something to do with the major regional languages used in Luzon, and these are Tagalog, Ilocano, Kapampangan, Bicolano, and Pangasinense. And of course, okay, those from Luzon are also well versed when it comes to the English language. Okay, thank you, Jairus. Just be sure to highlight those regional, major regional languages. Now let's have paragraph 2, Rosette. Hello, Rosette. Please read number 2. Paragraph 2. Can you hear us? Okay, so there's something wrong with her audio. Ayen, okay.
It is not that surprising that people would want to live in Luzon, considering that the economic and political center of the country, Metro Manila, is in this region. To address the needs of education of Luzon's big population, the most number of schools and universities can be found in this island group, making it the seat of literacy in the country. A result of the efforts from the public and private education sectors in Luzon, 94% of its population has achieved functional literacy. However, the functional literacy in Luzon, and in reality the Filipino in general, must be further fine-tuned to address new technologies such as that of the internet.
Okay, thank you, Ayan. Now, the key idea in the second paragraph has something to do with seat of literacy. Can you please look for it? Seat of literacy. Yan, functional literacy. Okay. Most of the Filipinos who live in Luzon are okay, literate. However, there's an issue raised by the author here. Take note of the last sentence. The functional literacy in Luzon and in reality, the Filipino in general must be further fine-tuned to address new technologies such as that of the internet. Now, this one is one reality that we must address, that yes, we may be literate, however, not all of us are literate when it comes to the use of technology. Okay, thank you, Ayan. Now let's have the third paragraph. Nakukuha nyo? Naha-highlight nyo? Okay, sige, thank you. Adriel, ng paragraph 3, please.
Paragraph number 3, ma'am.
Uh-uh.
One of the biggest technological advancements of the 20th century is the invention of the internet, which has solidified the dawning of the information age. In the digital world of the internet, physical borders, as those found in the maps of nations, seem to have become invisible. And people who connect online usually step out of confines of their geographic reality and step into global citizenship. That is to say, instead of being a citizen of a particular country, we become netizens of the globe.
Okay, thank you, Adriel. So, the key term here or the key idea is netizens of the globe. So, this 21st century, what is our objective? To become one of the netizens of the globe. And we can only do that if we are literate or if we can apply technology in everything that we do. Okay, next paragraph, please, Karil.
Today, the internet is connecting the people of our archipelago in so many ways. Filipinos have now begun using social media platforms such as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, not only for entertainment but also for social awareness. The internet has also allowed writers to experiment with other forms of expressing their literary skills. In the Philippines, especially in Luzon, where a good percentage of the population is quiet, some new forms of creative output mediated by new technologies and devices are being created. Examples of these are the weblog or the blog, online novels, and the mobile phone text tula. Although these forms are still not included in our national literary canon, we cannot deny that such works are opening new horizons for today's generation of Filipino authors in Luzon and around the country.
Okay, thank you, Karil. Now, what are the important ideas? Okay, we have social media platforms. Okay, not only for entertainment but also for social awareness. New forms of creative output mediated by new technologies and devices are being created. Examples: weblog or blog, online novels, mobile phone textula. Okay, and one another reality mentioned in this paragraph, although social media is the primary vehicle to express or to present literary works. However, they are still not included in our national literary canon. Remember our discussion about canonical authors? These are our lesson, that lesson that we had discussed already. Okay, we've learned the famous um, internationally acclaimed stories. However, in this 21st century, the textula, okay, the novel, the romance, the online novel. Remember the story of Vince, Cat, and James. Okay, if you've seen that movie, these are not yet being recognized as okay part of our literary canon or part of Philippine literature. Okay, next, last paragraph, Princess.
Um, as of 2014, the Internet and Mobile Marketing Association of the Philippines, or IMMAP, recorded that there are 38 million Internet users of this country, of the estimated 100 million Filipinos in 2015. IMMAP expects that in the next few years, Internet use would dramatically increase in the country as Internet access becomes more widespread and the prices of devices used to access the Internet gets more affordable. Another important feature of IMMAP's report is that two-thirds of Filipino Internet users are below 30 years old. Therefore, putting together the information on the functional literacy rate of Filipino residing in Luzon with the rising internet use in the country, we can summarize that functional internet literacy, that is literacy in the use of internet technology, is also on the rise today. Functional internet literacy is a necessary skill today, especially for this new generation of Filipinos who should be able to compete intellectually with people of other nations. Hopefully, with discipline, our functional literacy as a people will bring its own social and economical rewards to the country.
Okay, thank you, Princess. And the important ideas we have here: functional literacy. Last part is a necessary skill, okay, especially for this new generation of Filipinos who should be able to compete intellectually with people of other nations. Hopefully, with discipline, our functional literacy as a people will bring its own social and economic rewards to the country. So these are the important or the key ideas about Luzon as the center of urban writing. Okay, now if you will check our syllabus, it says there we are to compare and contrast again two literary pieces, okay, which are written in different era. Now, since we are already in the second quarter, we will simultaneously discuss, okay, 21st Lit from the Philippines and of course from the world. And if you will check our Google Classroom, there I have already uploaded one example of a hyper poem, okay, created by a um, a millennial poet using tech. Okay? Can you please open that? Sige, sige. I-share ko din. Pero i-open nyo rin ha. Kasi you'll not be able to read the poem not unless naka-open yun. Kasi that is an example of a hyper poem. Kailangan maklik nyo yung mga naka-underline na words para mabasa nyo yung poem. Okay? Sige. Na-access nyo? Okay. Now, before you read the poem, let me ask you this question. How would you describe your relationship with your father or any man in your life that serves as a father figure to you? Yeah. Caitlin. Hmm. Ay, Caitlin?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, how would you describe your relationship with your dad?
Um, Usually, di naman po kami gano'ng ka-close pero like kasi like mas close po kami ng mother ko. Pero like, for me, yung relationship po namin is, loving tapos caring for one another. Yun po.
Okay, sige. Thank you, Caitlin. Now, what about you, Renz? How would you describe your relationship with your father?
Okay lang naman po.
Ayos lang. Buddy-buddy kayo ni Daddy?
Yes po.
Okay. Thank you, Renz. Now, today, okay, this one is we are to discuss or we are to compare. Actually, we are not going to discuss. We are to compare and contrast. Okay, two poems about fathers. One, an example of a hyper poetry. The other one was created using conventional means. Now let's start with this hyper poetry. Now, according to this site, www.kirkwood.edu, this genre, also called cyber poetry, and hyper poetry is also called cyber poetry. Now, true hyper poetry refers to works of verse, although not necessarily in lines and stanzas, which could not be presented without the computer. Ayan. Hyperpoetry includes verse with links to sub-poems or footnotes, poetry generators, poetry with movement or images. Nagbabasa na si Clarence. Hyperpoetry is usually highly steeped in the visual and sometimes involves parts that are read in varying orders. Now we have the recent version of hyperpoetry is what we call holopoetry, hologram poem. It refers to three-dimensional visual art that combines words with images using holographic techniques. So I would like you to enjoy Daddy Like Kiss with Heart, a hyper poem. O sige, Clarence, pwede na mag-read. Okay, you may now let us, okay, click the link. Ayan. Daddy liked his with heart. That's an example of a hyper poem. Kayo, pwede rin pwede kayong mag-ano ha, sabayan nyo na lang ako habang kiniklik nyo yan dyan. And then click the underline, heart, so that you can see the next part. Be my Valentine. Heartfelt. You think I mean an emotion or the steering of such, but no, this is not a hallmark moment. Rather, the memory of touch, the soft felt boards our teachers used to show us how to count. 5 teddy bears, 3 birds, Six hearts, a few, that would be three. It's three X's which we all knew stood for kisses. The shapes were comforting as we so wrestled with the idea of numbers, the act of addition. One day after school, One day after school, I stole the hearts and the kisses, leaving the round open O's behind for someone else. Okay? Ah, ma'am. Hello ma'am, may mga nada-download po sa laptop ko pag tinry kong i-click yung mga naka-underline. Hehehe. Okay, sige. Marga, ah, dito na lang sa screen ko, ha? Okay. Now let's have the next part. Heartache. Ayan. You never got to ask whether it hurt or not because by the time he knew he was gone, and not gone like you had wished him, oh so many times, but really gone, further away than you thought your wishes could send him. Did he cry out when the pain came coursing down his arm? Did he have time to think perhaps it was nothing, merely the strain of that last blow he launched in your direction before the night closed over him like like a feast. Yeah. Take heart. Salt and butter. Heat the pan till a drop of blood will sizzle on its surface. No, not too much salt. The mussel has a briny taste, which makes sense as we were always so much at sea. He liked cooking up the innards, gnawing on the neck, while no one fought me for the gizzard, its twin humps yielding to slow peeling by my teeth. The liver was always last, something we shared, one of the few things we ever shared, because back then he always got the wings. Okay, so this one is The Words and Images by Jennifer Lay. All right. So that's the hyper poem by Jennifer Lay. All right. Okay, what is the content of that hyper poem? What can you say about that hyper poem? Sumakit ang ulo ni Villamor. Sige, okay. Imagine Miss Jennifer Lay was able to create a hyper poem, okay, describing her adventures with her dad. Okay? Kaya lang, sige. Comment about the hyper poem. Marga said, Ma'am, may nada-download po sa laptop ko. Pag kiniklik ko yung underline. That's one of the Waterloo of using tech in presenting poems. What about the others? Si Villamor sumakit ang ulo dun sa sa visuals. Okay. May mga links and visual arts po. Okay. All right. What else? Okay. Now, if you will just read the hyperpoem once, you will not get immediately its content. However, okay, if you will read it once again, you'll find out that it's the adventures of Miss Jennifer Lay together with her father. And they enjoyed going to the beach and eating innards. Ano yung innards? Yung mga laman loob, di ba? And her father would love to eat what part of the innards? Siya yung gizzard eh, balon-balunan. Okay? Ano yung kinakain ng tatay niya? Yung meron siya leeg. Ayan, it's a chicken. Yes, Villamor. Okay, all right. Now, how come Miss Jennifer Lay made use of heart? Okay, the different emotions. Okay. That one heart feels to describe her relationship with her dad. Heartache, take heart, anyone? Vinace.
Ma'am, can you please repeat the question?
Okay, how come Miss Jennifer Lay made use of the different emotions that we feel represented by um, her poem about heart? Okay, bakit heart yung ginamit niya? To describe her relationship with her dad.
I think it's because usually, whenever we say we're feeling something, people usually use like their hearts because your innermost emotions usually come from that. And when you're close to a person or something, I think you use your heart to like connect with them rather than anything else, because when you're already connected by your like soul, it's kind of like stronger in a way rather than just having something simple like, I don't know, symbolism.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Vinay. So personally, what can you say about Miss Jennifer Lay's hyper pump? Vinay, ano masasabi mo doon sa poem niya? Yung the way she used technology.
I think actually it's pretty new somehow because most people are used to reading it like in books or something. The way she represented it by visuals and the metaphors that she used were almost ethereal, kind of, because the emotions that you get from it, I don't know, it's somewhat relatable, even though my father is still here. Like it kind of connects with you in a different way. It's a different experience. So it was fun.
Okay. Thank you, Vinay. Marga, okay, were you able to enjoy the poem kahit may lumalabas, kahit may download?
Ma'am, to be honest po, I found it hard to understand the poem po because the background was distracting me.
Ah, okay. Alright. Yun lang ang ano sa tech ano, 'di ba minsan nakaka-distract ang mga background. Okay? So hopefully you'll be able to read it again. So actually, Miss Jennifer Lay's poem falls under free verse. Okay? Okay, particularly the prose poetry. She's telling a story in a paragraph form and poetic form at the same time. Okay, prose poetry ang tawag doon. Okay, it's basically about her experiences or her one day sojourn with her dad. Okay, so next meeting we will discuss another poem, okay, about a father and son relationship. Okay, you may ask your parents if they're already alive during the martial law days. So yun, i-discuss naman natin next week, ay next meeting, a poem written to describe a father and son relationship in which the setting is during the martial law days. And then after a short discussion about that, we will compare the two. Okay? Okay, our focus will be on the relationship of the children to their fathers as presented from these two poems. Okay? All right. Hope you enjoyed Miss Jennifer Lay's hyper poem. Ang hirap pala pag may gamit na ang tech, no? Sa poetry. Alright, sasakit ang ulo natin sa mga visuals. Okay, and the manner they wrote the poem, the manner Miss Jennifer Lee created the poem, it's very unique. Okay, prose, actually very prose in form. Okay. All right. So when your father gets home this afternoon, okay, you can say I love you to him, diba? Kahit hindi Father's Day. Okay, always remember your happy moments with your dad. Bye everyone. Okay, what a nice start for the second quarter. Bye. Yeah, sana hindi nasasakit ang
Bye,
ulo.
ma'am. Thank you po.
Bye, ma'am.
Okay, bye.